Hello everyone, my name is Saurabh Kumar and welcome you all to the training session of Amazon Web Service. We are now in part number 28 and in this session we will be covering about what is application services, then an overview of Amazon management tools such as SNS, SQS. We will also be doing some hands-on lab on SNS and SQS, that how to configure SNS, how to use SQS. So let's have a look on it. Let's begin. First thing, we have to understand what is application service. We have been covering this AWS training for almost like 27 sessions because this is 28th session. We have been always talking that AWS is what actually Amazon Web Service. So it is already going to give you multiple different kind of services. We have learned about multiple services such as like AS3 is a service, EC2 instance is also a service of giving you instance. Then we have talked about CloudWatch, we have talked about some other services like VPC and all. So here, what exactly, if I talk about application service, here is example, like maybe if you are using ERP. I hope you all know what is ERP is. If you are doing anything management, so it's a management software. So if you are using ERP, if you are using release delivery, if you are using product lifecycle management, if you are doing any application development, or if you are looking for application management services, what exactly you are looking for is, you are looking for application service. And that application service will be provided to you by the Amazon. So Amazon can give you the different type of application services. And why I'm talking right now about application services in today's lesson, because we are going to talk about some of the service which help you to send the notification, or it helps you to manage the services. So if you are maybe working as any engineer in Amazon, so who you are actually, you becomes like a provider. You are going to provide the service to others, right? Because it will be your responsibility to provide a proper service to the customers. So if you are providing the service, you must be having some management tool which can be letting you know that which service is running well, which service is going down, which service needs some kind of attention, which service is sending any notification. All these things you need to have a proper management system. A proper notification or alert or alarm has to be there. Some practical of alarm, auto scaling, these things we have also covered in the previous session of this training. But today again we are going to talk about in detail that what those management tools or notification tools can help us to understand, or how we use it to make more effective. So next point is, here I have taken one example of those services, that is maybe web application as a service. So maybe you are offering web application, or maybe you are getting web application service from AWS. So what is happening actually, how the architecture is, let's have a look here. So maybe you have a website running there, and that website is www.example.com. So whenever a client or a user or a customer search for this website, what happened first? This entry is going to hit on the, what is this symbol? If you remember, this symbol is nothing else, it is about Route 53, which we have also discussed before. So what is the task of Route 53 is going to do? It will resolve this query with the help of the domain name to the IP address. So our domain name is www.example.com, or our site name is www.example.com. So it will be resolved to the relevant IP address, and if that IP address is of any load balancer, so request will now go to the load balancer, elastic load balancer. That's the term used by the Amazon. Different company uses different terms. So Amazon uses the term called as a ELB, which we have also finished which we have also discussed in our training session, that is elastic load balancer. Why do we use elastic load balancer? Because maybe that service, that site is running on multiple instances. So to manage doing the load balance, we use the ELB. Now this request will be sent to the any of the EC2 instance which is running that web server, web app. So here you see this instance is secured with one of the security group, because if you remember, we create security group to protect our EC2 instances. So in this security group, what do you think? What are the ports generally going to be enabled or allowed? If only it is web server, nothing else. Generally, maybe if it is Windows machine, RDP will be enabled. If it is a Linux machine, SSH will be enabled. Plus, if because it is running web app, so port number 80 must be allowed. Port number 443 must be allowed in the security group. Thereafter, if it has the permission to go in, now it reaches to the EC2 instance. EC2 instance is just giving the compute power, RAM, processor, that's it. And this EC2 instance is also attached with any of the EBS volume, which is giving the root volume as well as the data volume. You remember, if when we create EC2 instance, by default already there is going to be a EBS attached to it, elastic block storage, and that if you are using Windows, it goes with the 30 GB. If you are using Linux, it goes with 8 GB. So that is the root volume where your operating system is stored. Plus you can maybe also attach one more data volume, or maybe you have a separate EBS, you can attach it to it to keep your data there. That data means maybe your website folder, which is containing all index file and all those other kind of information. And what else can happen? Maybe your website, or why maybe generally most of the site needs to keep some data in the database, where maybe like if you have a multiple users account to doing the authentication, doing the authorization, or multiple kind of information you have on the site. So that should be stored into the connected one of the database, and that database service, if you are getting from the Amazon, which kind of service you are running? If it is a relational database, you are using RDS. If it is non-relational, you may be having DynamoDB. So here in example, I have mentioned RDS DB instance, database instance. Thereafter, this one, if you talk about the snapshot of this EC2 instance, whenever we take snapshot, this snapshot is going to be stored into the S3 bucket. Here it is. You remember, by default, whenever we take a snapshot of any EC2 instance, it goes to the S3 bucket. Plus, we have also learned that S3 bucket can be also used to store your CloudFront distribution, that is about CDN. We have discussed also about CDN before. So CloudFront distribution can be also directly connected to your S3 bucket, so that big pictures or video, whatever you have on the site, or whatever content which you want to be cached and stored on the distribution point CDN, that can be directly stored on your S3 bucket. So this is how the complete architecture looks like. So the guy just type www.example.com. So the request goes to the DNS server, DNS sends to the ELB sends to the host fetch the data from the root volume or maybe from data volume. Some content, maybe video or picture, it can also take from the S3. Some database, if required, it can fetch from the database, and then the response comes back to the user. Whoever is accessing the website, he gets the complete website here, including the picture, including the video, including the database, login credential, everything. So this is how the architecture is. But to check and verify everything is working properly or not, my instance is running proper or not, my security group is okay or not, my database is running fine or not, my S3 bucket is running properly or not, my snapshot mechanism is running well or not. So to check and verify this all, we must be having some management tool. We must be having some monitoring tool also. so that when everything is configured, I can sit and I can keep watching it, keep monitoring what is happening right now. Is everything is running well or not? If not, what to do the next? So to do all this kind of things, what we need is we need some monitoring too. Next point is what are the Amazon based application services are. So there are many which have discussed already. Very many number of application services are, but most of the tasks which we get from application services are, we generally get the queuing, we get a streaming of maybe video or media files, sending email can be the one application service, searching any content can be the another service. So these are some of the major type of offered services which works with the application to support. Some examples I have mentioned in the next slide also, like here you see. If you want to get any of this management service type, what exactly the service or the name has been given by the Amazon to get the same service or same response. So if you want to have a queue service, message queue service, which service you can get from Amazon? Amazon SQS, simple queue service. If you want to get a service from Amazon which can help you to maintain or manage workflow service, you can go for Amazon SWF, simple workflow service. Simple workflow. Next is app streaming. If you want to do some streaming task, if your company need a streaming function, a streaming services, you can look for the service offered by Amazon that is called as a Amazon App Stream. If you are looking for transcoding, Amazon has its own service called Amazon Elastic Transcoder. If you want to have email functions, email application services, if you want to send some your users or your employee email or maybe SMS or maybe digital marketing content or anything, in that scenario you can go for the service offered by Amazon called Amazon SES. Then if you want to provide the content search option or application, then you can look for Amazon Cloud Search. If you want to get any API management, if you want to get program interface, then you go for Amazon API Gateway. So these are some of the examples of application services offered by Amazon, their name, their nomenclature. What is the name? Why? I mean, with which name they are available in the market? By which name you will be able to use the service? Next point is, what are the some usage or customers who are using the services offered by Amazon? So here you see. You can see many number of company which are very famous and you must be knowing their name. Like if I take example from here, Samsung, Netflix. Netflix, you know, it is online platform to provide the video streaming. So they also uses the streaming services offered by Amazon. Other news channels. If you watch any news channel online, maybe on your browser or somewhere, they also uses the Amazon streaming services. Rather than keeping their own database or their own server where they put the video, they use the Amazon services. Where their videos are, they use the CDN. They provide the cache. They provide the cache server nearest to your region. So this all happens with the help of the services, and that services can be also offered by the Amazon. So there are many company are here, like we can see the some of the name here, MI, Nokia, MediaCorp, then we can see here Vodafone, we can see here some Expedia. So these all companies are somehow Philips also using the services, and that services is being offered by the Amazon. Services can be any. Some live streaming company are using a streaming services, some company may use database services, some company can use other application services according to their requirement, according to their need. Next point is, what is Amazon API gateway? So what it is going to give? Simple. Here you see in the picture, we have a web client. Somebody using his laptop or her laptop to access maybe any web service from Amazon. So now Amazon is having what? Amazon is having here a service which you can use for your company also, Amazon API gateway. It is working as a gateway. Gateway means, I hope it's clear to you all, it provides a gate to reaching there. So API is there, program interface is going to help me to go to the elastic load balancer. Then on ELB you can have maybe multiple instances, multiple cluster running there. Like here we have Amazon ECS clusters. There you can have multiple EC2 instance or something like that. So API is doing what? It is just helping to connect your clients with your services. It is acting as a gateway. You can also have maybe here, if you are a company or something, you can, if you are not having a single individual person, you can have entire company, and here you can use a CGI, customer gateway interface. So that all things is possible, and this is how actually in the background the services are being offered. Now next point is, we are going to talk about one of the management tool you can call it, or notification tool you can call it, from the Amazon, known as Amazon SNS, simple notification service. What it can do? It can send a notification. To send a notification, it can use very many type of protocol, or it can directly send the request to any specific service also. It can send the notification to Lambda, which we discussed before, that it is just serverless computing. You don't need to have any instance running for Lambda, but it can perform the same task. It only occupy the compute resource when you are performing any task, but rest of the time there is no instance needed for Lambda. So it is just serverless computing. It can perform your task. It can send SQS. So we are also going to discuss today itself in this lesson about SQS, what is SQS is. So it can send the notification to SQS, and SQS will be performing the next level task. Or Lambda will be also performing some other level task, maybe some auto scaling or any other kind of activity. Then HTTP or HTTPS, it can send a web notification. It can send notification through email to your email ID or to your customer email ID. It can send SMS to your mobile number or maybe any administrator mobile number. So these all can be received by the subscriber or the user, you can call it. This side publisher, this side is subscriber. I'm going to explain them, these two words, later on. So this is what right now we can understand about Amazon SNS, that it is just simple notification service, a web service used to set up, operate and send notification from the cloud to the customer or to the subscriber. Next point about SNS. SNS support even the push notification to Apple, Google, Windows, Fire OS, Android device. Wherever you want to send this notification, it's possible. If you are running Windows operating system and you want to get notification there, possible. If you are using Android mobile phone and you want to get a notification there, possible. You are using Apple devices, possible. So SNS can push the notification to any of the platform, any of the type of devices you are using. Next point is, Amazon SNS support two type of client. The client can be of two type. One is publisher, one is subscriber. This is what I was talking about before. So anything which is generating the notification, we consider as a publisher. For example, maybe you have set an alarm that maybe if any EC2 instance CPU utilization crosses 70%, it should immediately generate an alarm and SNS should work. So this EC2 instance, this alarm is a publisher who is generating this notification, and the guy who is going to receive the notification will be known as a subscriber or a customer. So publisher is who communicate to subscriber asynchronously, and subscriber is receive the notification from the publisher. So publisher can be any individual user also, or it can be any running service which is generating the notification, and the one who is receiving the notification is the subscriber. Subscriber, we can set any email ID, any SMS mobile number, or whoever. Next point is about Amazon SNS, that it uses push based instantaneous delivery. So keep this focus on the word push based. Amazon SNS always push the notification. It sends, it throws the notification. We also call it some other term we give it, which I am going to explain in the next slide. Next point is it is simple API and easy integration with any of the application. Whatever application you want to integrate with, it is possible and it is very easy to integrate with it. It provides flexible message delivery over wide range of protocols. We have seen already some protocols example there. SQS, HTTP, HTTPS, Lambda, email, SMS, and so on. Then it also provide a web-based AWS console. So how you are going to manage your SNS? So today itself, when we are going to do the practical hands-on lab, we will see that we will be able to perform any task of SNS, or we will be able to configure SNS with the help of simple AWS management console, web-based console. I don't need any application or something. And then the last point is pay as you go model with no upfront cost. So this message is also going to be cost, but it is pay as you go. And if you are using free tier account, I cannot tell you the exact number, but it gives nearby some amount of emails as a free. So if you receive that much amount of only email, it is free. Thereafter it will be some bit of charge. So the charging part, you can simply go visit the Amazon site and you can check from there how much they are charging for per 1000 email or something like that. Next is AWS SNS scenario. As I said that SNS is also not only it is called as a push, but it is also considered as a fan out. This is what term I have been discussing, that I will tell you about in the next slide. So here it is mentioned fan out. Why it is called as a fan out? Because we know about the fan, right? If we have a fan, any table fan or ceiling fan, what is the task of the fan is? If we have a fan here, fan is to push the air, to collect the air from anywhere and to push it in front, so that whoever is sitting there or whatever object is, they will be receiving this air, right? It is also working same like push method, that it push the air towards the object or towards the guy who is sitting in front of the fan. Similarly, SNS also does the same task. That's why it is considered as a fan out. Whatever publisher or object or any service which generating any notification, generally we create a SNS topic. So that notification will be coming as a part of the SNS topic, and in that topic we also have added the subscriber, and according to that subscriber it will be pushed to the endpoint. If you are using SQS, then it will be going to the SQS queue and then it will be pushing slowly. It will be going one by one. Otherwise, if you are not using SQS, it will be directly pushed to the EC2 instance. Here also it can be directly also pushed to the EC2 instance, or SQS can be also used there just to maintain the queue. So this is how the SNS scenario works. Now it's time to go and perform some of the practical related to SNS. So to perform this practical, we are going to the browser and we will try to log in with the AWS Management Console. So here we are. Now we are going to look for which service? SNS. So where we are going to get that service? Go to the services list and look for SNS. So if you don't want to search, because search is the obviously fast method, but let us try to find out where exactly SNS is, in which category it falls down. So if you scroll down, you are going to get, actually it is somewhere. Let's try to have a look here. So in the list of application integration, here you will be able to find simple notification service here. Even SQS comes under this category. So let us first perform the practical with simple notification service. So click on SNS, simple notification service. Once we reach here, we will be able to see that currently it is giving me the dashboard of it. So if I click on it, I can go to dashboard. It is telling me I have no any topics for SNS, no any subscriber, no any subscription for it. So now let's perform the task. Let's create a topic. Let's go to topic, because every notification works on a topic wise. So that's why first task we are going to perform is to create a topic here. So generally if you are having any service which require the notification, by default one topic will be automatically created, which we have also did before, like when we were creating alarm and all, there it was already working fine. So let us create a new topic. So click on create topic. Here give any name to the topic. So maybe I am making this just for testing purpose. So I give the name SNS test topic 01. This is maybe the name of my topic. SNS test topic 01. Display name is optional. You can give any name which will be only used to display on the screen there. Thereafter, do you want to enable any encryption? That is also optional. So if you want, you can enable. If you don't want, you can leave it blank, disable. Access policy. This is also optional, which can be set later on, but if you expand, you can see it is having two access policy, basic, advanced. In the basic, only the topic owner can do the set the criteria and all, or you can set everyone, or you can set only the specific AWS account. If you go to advanced, you will be able to perform the same task with the help of JSON editor. So as of now, I am just leaving with the by default basic. Then delivery retry policy. If you want to set for HTTP and HTTPS, you can set number of retry, how many. If it is not able to send at one time, it can do retry 2 times, 3 times, like that. Here is through the JSON. So I'm going to leave this one also as a default. Then a status logging, tag optional. So I'm leaving them all default. I'm just clicking on create topic. So now our topic is created. The name is SNS test topic 01. This is the topic we have created. Now this is only the topic, but who will be receiving the email, who will be receiving the SMS, that we define in the subscription. So that is the next task here, subscription. Let's click on subscription. You see there is no any subscription 8. Or you can go to the topics itself to check maybe how many subscription you have set for that topic. You can click to the topic name and you can scroll down. You can check the subscription is 0 right now. So if that topic happens, if that event happen, who will be getting the email or SMS? None. So now next task we are going to do is create subscription. So let us try to create subscription. Click on create subscription. Who will be getting notification? So you can define here the protocol, which kind of notification you want, through the HTTP, through HTTPS, through the email. You want to receive an email, or you want to receive email with JSON. So if you know JSON, if you know programming, then you will go with this option. Or you want to go with Amazon SQS. We haven't learned it SQS, so leave it right now. Amazon Lambda, or you want to perform any application endpoint, platform application endpoint, or you want to receive an SMS to your mobile phone. What you want to have, you can choose from here which type of notification protocol you want to use. So for me, as of now, let me maybe continue with the email. So when I choose email, I have to specify my email address. So whatever my email address is, I am going to specify here. That will be used to send the notification. So if your company is having maybe email ID itadmin at abc.com, or whatever email address you have, you can just type the email address here. Why I am using this address? Because I want to show you also that what kind of email I am going to receive. So as of now, let me log into my Gmail account and I show you I don't have any email as of now. So you can see here, I don't have any unread message from the AWS. So let's try to configure this subscription. Let's just scroll down and click on create subscription. Subscription to SNS test topic 01 created successfully. And with which endpoint? Who is the endpoint who will be receiving notification? srisingh.saurabh@gmail.com. That's my email address. But I can't receive the email on this email ID. Just for stopping any spam or something, there is one more step required, that is pending confirmation. Until unless I don't confirm that yes, I want to receive the notification from this, it will not be able to send the notification to my email address. So how we are going to approve it? Because right now pending confirmation is waiting, pending. It is not confirmed yet. You can also again go to the topics, click on your topic, check the subscription down. You see we have one, but it is pending confirmation, pending confirmation. So now we check the email. I must have received already an email from AWS to confirm. You see AWS notification, subscription confirmation email. When I open it, it is telling me you have chosen to subscribe to the topic, that is SNS test topic 01. Do you want to really receive any notification related to this topic? If yes, confirm the subscription. So let me click on confirm subscription. It is going to do the confirm subscription confirmed. And now if I check here the status, if I refresh and I check, now simple notification service is having a topic. In the topic, if I click, I have a subscription and that subscription is confirmed. So anytime if some notification gets generated, I will be receiving that on my email address. Because it is a time taking process, or just we are focusing on one topic right now, that is SNS, let me manually send a notification. Or just for testing also, if you are IT person, just for testing purpose, you can also send a manual notification. So let's try to generate a notification, publish message. Let's try to send a publish message and we see either we are going to get received or here or not. Do we receive the notification or not? So let's do that. Publish message, give any subject of that message. So maybe I'm just giving the name SKS testing notification. That will be the subject, and I can set the TTL value, that is optional. Message structure, I can choose any, and I just type here the message what I want to send. So maybe I want to just test that message has Saurabh, SNS is sending this notification to you for checking SNS function. So now let's try to just go with the default setting. Click on publish message. So click on publish message here. So once I click on publish message, we will be able to see here that message published. Here it is already telling me message published to the topic SNS test this successfully. So now we can also verify it by checking the email. You see here one notification has come, that heading is SKS testing notification, because that is the topic heading I have selected. Here is the message, hi Saurabh, SNS is sending this notification to you for checking SNS function. So this way we have seen that now we are able to receive the notification from the Amazon. So if this notification I can set on some criteria, like maybe if CPU load goes this, when alarm gets generated, then SNS will send the notification, like that. But right now we are just testing manually by sending the publish SNS, publish message. The best part of SNS here is, in the subscription you can continue adding multiple people there. Like maybe this is very crucial type of information, maybe any of the instance is getting too much load or something, or maybe any specific service has failed to operate. So I want to send this notification to maybe my CEO of the company, managing director, the IT head, and maybe the local person also. So maybe if you have 20% which should be informed immediately, you can simply go to create subscription and you can add their email address also one by one. So it's not like it is limited to only one individual email address. You can have 10, 20, 50 number of email address, and immediately whenever anything happens, immediately notification will be sent to that many number of email address. You can even set the mobile number for receiving the SMS. Let's try to do that one also. So in the protocol list, go to the SMS option this time. Let's go to SMS. When you set SMS, it will ask you to set the mobile address, mobile number. So for example, if I am just taking an example, that country code, you just have to type the country code. If you are in India, you go with the 91 and then your mobile number. If you are in America, you will have to go with the country code of there. If you are in any other country, just for example, maybe I am testing with this number. This is one of my number. So 75, maybe I am going with this. And then I confirm here, create subscription. Automatically it will check that mobile, is it that number is still valid or not. If it is valid, it will say the confirm already. And now if I check in my topic is SNS topic 01. In the same topic, I have two subscription now. One is my email address, one is my mobile number. So maybe if I have 10 employee in my company who should get the notification immediately, I can add their all mobile number here in this list, and then they all will be receiving that notification. So now if I go for publish message, I type any just message, hi, testing message 2 from SNS, and let's try to just publish the message. Let's see. So you see, message published, message has gone. We can test on the mobile phone as well as on the email. You check here, the new notification has come, and that is hi, testing message 2 from SNS. This is how the notification service works. Very fast, and it works like a push. It is just pushing the notification immediately to the subscription email address, subscribed mobile number, or any service if you have attached with it, Lambda, SQS, or anything else. So this way we can have the multiple number of subscription in the same topic. I can go to again create subscription. Maybe I again choose the SMS and I type my any of Indian number, for example 91, and then I type any number. I'm just using some random number. Please don't consider as a real number. And then I can go with the create subscription. And now I have in the same topic, I have 3 subscription here. So if any notification gets generated on this topic, it will be immediately sent to all these 3 endpoint, email address also, and these 2 phone numbers also. Same way I can create another topic from another things. Maybe this topic I have created for any instance. Another I can create on any other service, maybe on database. Third topic maybe I can create on DynamoDB. Fourth topic maybe I can create on S3 bucket. So wherever I want to create the notification, I can create, and that notification will be sending an email. It will be sending, which we have already seen last in some of the previous session when we were setting the alarm. We have seen that when the we set the trigger, we set the threshold that CPU utilization goes more than 10% or 20%, automatically alarm will be generated. And if alarm gets generated, you can attach that to the SNS also. So that was all about here. We can check here in the push notifications area also. You can check here. So here it is already telling me if you want to create a platform application, you can attach here. If you are talking about the text messaging, you can check and verify from here. So at this particular time, the message has been sent. Transactional text message at this time it is set. So this is promotional text message. One more thing, keep in your mind that this text message will be working fine or being delivered to your mobile only if your promotional message are not disabled or DND is not activated on your phone. If DND is activated or any promotional offers are blocked on your mobile number, then you may not receive email from the AWS. That you may not receive SMS on your phone. But email, obviously it is going to work fine because it requires the confirmation of subscription. So here it is also even showing me that delivery statistics by the country. So I have sent 5 times on my India number, 1 time on my Uganda number, and it has failed because I have always DND activated on mobile number. I don't want to receive any advertisement or promotion message on mobile phone. So that's why it is being failed. But if you don't have, you will be receiving. So generally if you are having maybe a company SIM card, company gives you the SIM card to operate with it. They make sure that it is not blocked with it, and you will be receiving the notification immediately if anything happen on AWS service. So now we are going to move to the next topic, because we are done with the hands-on lab with SNS where we have seen how we can create a topic. So we have done first task, that is create a topic related to whatever on which basis you want to receive the notification. In the topic you can go for the subscription, and here you can subscribe to your email address, you can subscribe to your SMS, you can subscribe to SQS also. All things are possible. So let's now talk about the next topic for today's lesson, that is SQS. What is SQS now? So SQS is simple queue service. You can see very simply from this diagram, this picture. Again, there is a producer. Producer means any service or any user who is generating the notification. It can be even SNS. So because SNS is also producing the notification, that notification may come to the SQS. SQS task, as per its name, is going to queue those requests, these notification. They will be putting them in a queue in the order. Like if you go to maybe ATM to withdraw the money, you have to stand there in a queue. Once you get your time, then only you go inside and withdraw your money. If you go to railway station for the getting ticket, you may have to go for the queue. So same queue fundamental is here also applied, and that queue function is being managed by SQS. Any notification, any request is coming, that can be queued properly by the help of SQS, and in that order it can go out and it can be reaching to the consumer. Next point is, it is a web-based service to provide access to a message queue, and messages are stored in the SQS while waiting for a computer to process them. This consumer or the computer or a service who need to get that notification, that withdraw it, then this notification goes to them. So actually SQS works in the fundamental of pull, where the SNS was working on the fundamental of push. So this one works in the fundamental of pull. The resource consumer, they will be pulling that notification and then they will be getting that notification. Let's get more detail on it. So a queue is a temporary repository and it supports the distributed queue. Message from one web component is consumed by another component. Maybe one service has generated a notification and this notification reaches to the another service running on AWS. Something like maybe the notification has been generated from maybe database and this notification supposed to reach to the S3 service. Next point about Amazon SQS, you can see that it is engineered to be always available and deliver the messages. So SQS supposed to be always up, active, and it can deliver the all messages to the maybe you have the instance, or maybe you have the group of instance, wherever you want to forward this notification. Next is there are two type of SQS actually. One is a standard SQS, one is FIFO SQS, that is specially designed by the Amazon. We will discuss in the next slide. So a standard SQS does not guarantee for the FIFO, first in first out. It doesn't guarantee. A standard SQS means other organization, those who uses SQS, they don't guarantee that the packet which has gone first, they will be going first out. Maybe packet number 1 went in first, then packet number 2 went in, but it is possible that 2 comes out and 1 is still inside. It is possible in a standard SQS, but if you are having the Amazon SQS, it guarantee for FIFO queue. That's why itself it is giving the name FIFO SQS. There are two type of SQS, a standard SQS, FIFO SQS. So support auto scaling based on the number of messages in the queue. It automatically do the scaling also. Maybe if the resources are many, number of messages are many, it can auto scale up, auto scale down. Next point is here SQS type. So this is what I was talking about. One is a standard queue, one is FIFO queue. A standard queue is at least once delivery. It provides at least once delivery, best effort for the giving, maintaining, ordering, and nearly unlimited transaction rate it provides. But if I talk about FIFO, which is Amazon has given the FIFO queues. So if you are using FIFO queues, first in the first out, the one who goes first in becomes first out, delivery processing message, exactly once processing, and it gives you 300 transactions per second. If you are using FIFO, you can get 300 transactions per second. So now here is some comparison between SNS and SQS because they look similar. So let's try to understand what is the difference they have. As I told you, SQS work on the fundamental of poll, or we can call it pulls. It pulls the notification, where SNS push the notification. It throw out, it throw in, it receive and it sends. In this format it works. So let's try to understand what is SNS is. So it sends the notification to the subscriber of any topic which you have created via multiple protocol like HTTP, email, SQS, SMS, like that. Where this one SQS place the message into a queue, an application pull queue by using the AWS software development kit. Meaning that the message here will be already in the queue, and the consumer itself, the application which is supposed to get that notification, they pull that notification and then they receive it. But if I talk about SNS directly send this message. They don't wait that you will ask me, then I will send you. No, like that. SNS is generally used for sending plain text email, which is triggered via any other AWS service, and the best example of this is billing alarm. Here, it can retain a message for up to 14 days. It will be still there in the queue until unless you don't receive, it will be there, and it can be gone out maybe after 14 days. It can send them in a sequential order or in a parallel also, it is possible. It can ensure only one message is sent, and it can ensure messages are delivered to at least once. If I talk about SNS, it can retry sending in case of failure of HTTPS. It can do retry 3 time, 4 time, as many number of time you have set. But here, really good for delayed tasks, queuing up email. There is no any resend or something because it is not even sending. No, you have to your own receive it. Next is, it is really good for the webhooks, simple internal email, triggered Lambda functions. Then you use SNS. It is good for delay tasks, queuing up emails, then you go for SQS. So now, let's try to continue and let's try to see some practical of SQS now. So now to perform the SQS, what we can do again is, let's go to the browser and let us look for the service called SQS. Simple queue service. Let me open it into the new tab here. Here I am going to the SQS. Before I continue about SQS, one more thing I would like to tell you here, that which I have personally found so many number of time, that if your region is some different region, maybe right now like I was explaining this all practical in North Virginia region, I have tried one thing that let me show you from here. Let me go to the service once again of SNS itself first. I want to just show you something here, that maybe you go to SNS service and you are doing the practical which I am explaining, but maybe you are doing in a different region, maybe like let's take Ohio region. What happens sometimes that some of the region doesn't support the all functions. So if I go to Ohio region, I go to subscription, I go to create subscription. Here you see in the protocol list, I don't see SMS option. So I wanted to just tell you that maybe if you are doing practical by watching my video or by this training, just please make sure about your region. Some region they don't maybe supporting as of now the SMS function. So don't worry about that, okay? It's just the matter of region. Maybe the region which you belongs doesn't support right now the SMS function or something. Same task when I am doing on the different region, like right now in North Virginia, here if I go to SNS, and here if I go to subscription, here if I go to create subscription, I get the SMS option here. Okay, so that was something about SNS. So we were moving to the SQS, right? We search for SQS. So here in SQS, we will be able to create the queue. So let's try to create the queue, because as we know, what is the main task of SQS? It is going to do the queuing service, simple queue service. So when we talk about the queue, we have to first create the queue, right? Pricing part is done, mention here how much it will be pricing and all. Here you see you can get started with Amazon SQS for free, and all the customer can make 1 million SQS requests for free each month. If you go for up to 1 million SQS request in a month, that is also free. After that you will be charged. So let's try to create the queue. I go to create queue, and here let's try to just give the name of this queue. Maybe I give the name SQS queue 01. Maybe I just gave this name. Now scroll down. or before even I scroll down, you see there are two type of SQS queue which we have discussed about, a standard or FIFO. Which one you want? So if you want a standard, you will go with the standard. If you want FIFO, you will go with FIFO. If you go with FIFO, this name will not be accepted because it allow only the name which is ending with .FIFO extension. So let me first show you with the standard, and then I will come back for FIFO also for the next. So let's go with a standard SQS. Here is the visibility timeout, delivery delay. If you want to set that your message or queue should be having some delay, you can set here. Maximum message size, how big you want to have. Message retention period, how many days you want to have. Receive message wait time, how much second you want to set. All those you can set here, as well as the access policy you can define. Basic will be just honor queue, or you can set graphically. If you go for advanced, you have to perform the same task with the JS on. Thereafter encryption if you want to set, dead letter if you want to set, tag if you want to set, and then create queue. So for me, what I have choose only the name, a standard, and let me just click on create queue. So now the queue has been created. You can check. Go here, click on queue. So this is only one queue is there, SQS queue number 1, type is a standard, created this date, like that. If I choose this queue, I can go to the action button and I can also send receive message through it. You can see here. So click on send receive message. Here also you can define a message which you want to send. But this time, as we know, SQS is not going to send the email directly or message. It is just going to display here itself. So let me type any message. Hello, testing SQS message. This is maybe my message. So how I'm just trying to show you how SQS works. So if you send any message through the SQS, even if you click on send, there is no delay, 0 second. Send the message. You have sent a message with the help of which? SQS. So SQS doesn't deliver the mail. It doesn't push the mail. It doesn't push the message. Message is there just on the hold until unless you don't come down and if you want to check the message, how many message you have? 0. If you want to receive the message, manually you have to click on poll for message. Do you want to push the message? Pull the message. Click on poll for messages and then it gets received. Now it is showing me that yes, you have a message. If you want to read the message, click on it. It will show you there. ID is this, size is this big, first received, received count, message attribute, all detail, plus body, I mean the mail. Hello, testing SQS message. So you can see now the difference between SQS and SNS. So similarly, we can also create the another type of SQS. Let me just continue with the queue. Let's create one more. This time maybe I create FIFO. So if you choose FIFO type of, this time you see the giving you the example my queue.FIFO, that is must be there extension. So maybe I am giving the name SQS FIFO queue 01. If I continue with this name, it will be giving me error. First let me show you the error. So even if I go with this, you see here default create queue, it has given me error that it must be end with the .FIFO. So okay, that is the mandatory to have the extension. Now we create. So now we have two queues. We can check here queue. Let's refresh. So we have two queue. One is a standard. I could have given name a standard. And this one is FIFO. I did a spelling mistake, no problem. So this is FIFO. On the FIFO, we haven't sent or received any message. But for this one, we have one message available. For this one, if you want to send message, click on it. Go to send receive message. type any message. Hey, how are you doing? Send the message. Here you have to do one more thing, group ID and message group ID and message duplication ID. You can give any ID number. Just for testing I'm using 11. Send message. So the message has been sent and is ready to be received. What does it mean? Ready to be received. It doesn't push directly to the end. It just send and ready to be received. If receiver want to receive, he receive. He doesn't want to receive, no problem. So right now how many messages is showing you? No message. Even the message is there, but it is showing me no message. If I go to the queue, if I refresh here, what you can see here, here it is showing me one message there. Here also it is one message, but when I go to check the message here in the FIFO, send receive message list, I check for the message, there is no message. I have to manually receive that. So click on that. Now it gets received. Now you have a message. You can read it. Body. Hey, how are you doing? Now if you go to the queue, you will be able to see that this queue is also having one message. This queue is also having one message. This is FIFO type of SQS. This is a standard type of SQS. As simple as that. Now let me perform one more task. Let's try to integrate SQS with SNS. Let's try to do that experiment. That if any message we send through the SNS, it should also go to the SQS also. It should receive here also. So for that what we do, let's go to SNS. In the SNS, let's try to go to subscription. We have already added 3 subscribers. Let's try to add one more, create subscription. And this time I'm selecting maybe Amazon SQS. Then here you will be getting that queue name. It is giving me only one queue name, that is a standard, because FIFA doesn't work here. So I'm going to go select with the standard queue, and then I click on create subscription. Oh, the topic I must have selected. So if I click on create subscription, now I have now 4 subscription here in the same topic. Topic is this SNS topic which we created before. Here we have now 4 subscription. One is my email, one is my Ugandan phone number, Indian phone number, and then SQS will also receive the notification. So now if I send now any publish message, I type any message here, subject is ABCD subject, and I type any message, hey buddy, there is let's say that this is an notification from SNS, just like that maybe, and I click on publish message. So this message will go to who? It will go to all these 4 subscribers. So it must have received to my email address also. Let me go and check. Yes, ABCD subject, hey buddy, this is notification from SNS. It will go to my mobile, both of the mobile number, plus it must have gone to the SQS also. Let's try to check. So we go to this standard queue. It is showing me only one message. Let's refresh. Still showing one message. Let's try to go there and we check again. Send receive message. Here, poll for the message. Only one message. The reason behind this all can be that let's go to the queue first. Select this queue. Go to action. And here you have to subscribe to Amazon. You have to also confirm from your side that yes, this SQA want to receive the notification from SNS. So first I am going to subscribe. For which topic? If you remember my topic, SNS topic 1. Click on save. So now my SQS has subscribed, and here I have said that SQS will receive. Both side I am done. So now if I send an email, or let me first try with the previous one. So I go to send receive message. I just try to click on poll for messages. It is not going to receive now. So let's now send new message. I go to publish message. This time if I am going to send any message, my message heading is maybe final test notification. That's my just subject of the notification, and my mail is here. This notification will go to all my number, email, as well as to SQS. Publish message. So this time when I send the notification, this notification must be going to my email address. You see, final test notification. This notification will go to all number, email, as well as SQS. Let's check on SQS side also. On the SQS, let's go to the queue. This queue is still showing one message. Let's try to refresh. You can see now it has received a notification. If you want to read that notification, go there. Here you have to do what? Send receive message. In the receiving, poll for the message. You can see both messages are there. Let's try to open this message body, and here you will be able to read that information. This notification will go to all my number, email, as well as to SQS. That's the notification. Why it is coming like this? Because this time it is integrated with the SNS. SNS is generating a notification. That notification is going to the SQS. It was hold there. I have manually retrieve, and then I am able to see that notification. So that was all. I was trying to explain you how the SNS or SQS can work, and it can be helpful for the administrator. If you want to delete this notification, simply select those notification, delete. If you want to delete the queue here, you can select delete. Select delete. If you want to, that is what we did on the SQS side. That's all. We created two queue. We have deleted both of them. Now if I want to delete my SNS, so I can go to first subscription. I can remove all the subscription. At a time we can only delete one. So let's try delete one by one. So if I don't want to maybe receive on this phone, I can delete. If I want to add, I can add from here. If I don't want to get also on maybe SQS, I can delete from here. That's how the SNS we manage. If you want to delete even your topic, you can choose the topic, go to delete, type here delete me. So now we don't have any topic, we don't have any subscription. We can check in the dashboard as it was when we started the session. So we have gone back to the same mode now. So this was all here. So let's summarize what we have covered in this today session. That in this session we have talked about the SNS first, how to use. Then we discuss about SQS, what is SQS is. Then we also did the hands-on lab on both of them. And that was all in this particular session. And that was all in this video. I hope this video was informative enough for you all. And I would like to thank you for watching.